Have you ever noticed how a human life can drift, quietly, subtly, like a ship with no anchor, until one day you look up and realize you've wandered far from the shores you once dreamed of reaching? We don't fail because our dreams are small. We fail because our plans are vague. Before we continue, if you find value in deep, life-shaping messages like this, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Your engagement keeps this message reaching others who need it. Set goals that flow from your true desires, not borrowed expectations. Ask yourself, if no one were watching, what would I pursue? Your heart is not confused, only crowded. Clear the noise. A goal without a path is a wish. Break your dream into smaller, winnable stages, weekly targets, daily actions, tiny milestones. Every step forward removes one excuse for turning back. You don't rise to the level of ambition, you rise to the level of identity. Become the kind of person who naturally walks toward the goal. Don't just set a goal to be disciplined. Become someone who values discipline. The world celebrates giant leaps, but lives are changed by quiet repetitions. 5 minutes daily beats 2 hours on a lucky weekend. Show up even when motivation whispers instead of screams. Failure doesn't mean you're unworthy. It means you're trying. When you stumble, document the lesson, adjust, and rise higher. Progress is not the absence of falls, but the courage to keep walking. Set aside time each week to reflect. Ask, is this still my goal? Am I moving closer or drifting? Growth requires correction, not condemnation. If this message stirred something in you, if even a tiny part of your spirit whispered, I'm ready to start again, I want you to engage, not for the algorithm, but because taking action, even a small one, cements the decision in your mind. If this touched your heart, please like, share, comment, and subscribe so others can begin their journey with you. Before you go, drop a comment below and tell us, what is one goal you are ready to commit to today? Clarity in goals is like turning on a lighthouse in the middle of a stormy sea. Without it, we drift aimlessly and waste energy on paths that lead nowhere. When your goal is clear, your mind stops asking, what should I do? And starts asking, how do I make this happen? Vague goals are invisible walls. You might think you are moving forward, but without a target, every step can be sideways. A clear goal gives your brain a specific signal. It knows exactly where to focus attention, energy, and creativity. Clarity turns overwhelm into simplicity. Instead of juggling 50 random tasks, you prioritize the ones that directly push you toward your goal. People with unclear goals often blame circumstances, luck, or time. But clarity reveals what is within your control and what is just noise. Writing down a clear goal transforms a wish into a commitment. It's no longer a floating thought. It becomes a tangible target. Clear goals create a sense of urgency and purpose. When you know exactly what you want, hesitation decreases and action increases. Clarity also fuels motivation. Every small achievement along a defined path becomes visible, reinforcing your belief that the bigger goal is possible. When a goal is unclear, distractions feel equally important as progress. Clarity acts like a filter, helping you say no to what doesn't serve your ultimate aim. It shapes your identity. Clear goals tell you, this is who I am becoming, which aligns your habits, choices, and mindset toward a consistent trajectory. Neuroscience shows that the human brain craves specific targets. Clarity lights up reward pathways with every step that leads toward completion. Clarity eliminates regret. You know exactly what you're striving for, so every effort is meaningful, and missed opportunities are recognized as lessons, not wasted time. The difference between a dream and a reality is often not effort but precision. Clear goals define the coordinates. Effort navigates the journey. When you articulate your goal clearly, it becomes easier to communicate it to others, creating networks, accountability, and support that accelerate progress. Clarity breeds confidence. Every step you take toward a well-defined target feels purposeful, reducing anxiety and increasing resilience when obstacles appear. Without clarity, even the most disciplined routines can feel hollow because they are not tied to a visible outcome. With clarity, every action matters. Clear goals inspire action because they are specific enough to be measured, yet flexible enough to grow with your journey, creating a balance between ambition and realism. Breaking big goals into smaller steps is like turning a mountain into a series of hills. Each climb feels possible and progress becomes visible. When a goal feels too large, the mind resists it. Fear, doubt, and procrastination creep in. Dividing it into small tasks removes that fear. Every small step you take builds momentum. Momentum transforms hesitation into action and makes even the hardest tasks approachable. Small steps provide clarity on what to do next. You no longer feel lost or overwhelmed because the path is broken down into manageable pieces. Achievable mini goals create frequent wins. Every win, no matter how small, releases a burst of motivation that fuels the next step. Human psychology craves visible progress. When you can see movement toward your goal every day, your brain rewards you with confidence and energy. Each small step is a learning opportunity. You discover what works, what doesn't, and how to adjust your plan while still moving forward. Breaking goals down reduces the mental load. Large, abstract targets often paralyze people, but concrete actions give the mind something tangible to focus on. The habit of completing small tasks builds discipline. Consistency in minor actions eventually leads to mastery of the larger objective. Small steps encourage experimentation. You can try different approaches without fear, because failure in one step doesn't mean the whole goal fails. Socially, sharing progress in small achievements inspires others and builds a network of support, making the journey collaborative rather than lonely. Big dreams without actionable steps remain fantasies. Only when you plan the route in detail does your vision start turning into reality. Breaking down a goal creates a map for accountability. You know what you need to do daily, weekly, or monthly, and you can measure progress clearly. Each step reinforces your identity as someone capable of action. Completing micro tasks repeatedly rewires your brain to see yourself as a doer, not just a dreamer. Human minds respond to structure. When a massive goal is broken into chunks, your subconscious begins organizing resources, time, and energy efficiently. The fear of failure diminishes. You focus on the immediate next step instead of obsessing over the end result, reducing stress and increasing confidence. Small, consistent actions compound over time. The sum of these steps is not just progress. It's transformation, turning aspirations into tangible outcomes. Breaking goals down creates a rhythm in your life. Each completed task signals accomplishment, encourages focus, and motivates the next action. Aligning your goals with your identity is like planting a tree in the right soil. The stronger the foundation, the faster and healthier the growth. Goals that don't match who you are or who you want to become often feel like a constant struggle, draining energy and motivation. When your goals reflect your true self, every action feels natural, not forced. You move forward with purpose rather than pressure. Identity shapes habits. If you see yourself as a disciplined person, you automatically make choices that support discipline without overthinking. People often fail because they chase goals that belong to someone else, society, family, or peers, rather than their own inner calling. When your goals are aligned with your core values, obstacles become opportunities. Challenges feel like tests rather than roadblocks. Your identity is a compass. Knowing who you are guides you in choosing goals that fit your strengths, passions, and long-term vision. Goals disconnected from identity create inner conflict. Your mind resists them because they contradict your self-image, leading to procrastination or self-sabotage. Alignment brings consistency. Every decision, big or small, naturally supports your goal because it resonates with who you are becoming. Humans are social beings, and identity influences social behavior. When your goal aligns with your identity, you attract like-minded people who support your journey. Clear identity-driven goals reduce doubt and indecision. When the goal is me and not just something to do, hesitation diminishes. Identity acts as a filter for choices. You automatically say yes to what supports your growth and no to distractions that misalign with your values. When your goal matches your identity, passion flows naturally. You no longer need constant motivation. Your actions feel meaningful in themselves. Aligning goals with identity prevents burnout. You sustain effort because the work reflects your inner purpose rather than external pressure. Identity-based goals create long-term transformation. Each success reinforces who you are becoming, turning temporary achievements into lasting change. Your sense of self shapes perception of success. If the goal aligns with identity, even small wins feel significant and meaningful, boosting confidence. The closer your goals are to your authentic self, the more resilient you become. You don't abandon them easily because they are an expression of who you truly are. Identity-driven goals are magnetic. They naturally pull resources, opportunities, and support toward you because they are consistent, authentic, and compelling. Consistency over intensity is the secret that separates fleeting effort from lasting achievement. Human nature craves shortcuts and big leaps, but true progress is built quietly, step by step, day by day. Small, repeated actions compound like drops of water wearing away rock. Over time, they achieve what bursts of effort never could. Intense bursts of work may feel exciting, but they often burn you out or fade into nothing, if not sustained. Consistency trains the mind and body. Each repeated action strengthens habits, rewires thinking, and builds confidence. Society celebrates dramatic success, but most lasting victories are invisible, quiet, repeated, and disciplined over months and years. Doing a little every day creates rhythm and momentum. The brain begins to expect action, and resistance diminishes naturally. Motivation is unreliable, but consistency doesn't rely on it. You take action even when you don't feel like it, and that is where real growth happens. Small actions done regularly are like planting seeds. You may not see immediate results, but roots form deep below the surface, supporting future success. Consistency over intensity fosters resilience. You learn to navigate obstacles without panic because your approach is steady, deliberate, and sustainable. Daily routines create micro-wins that fuel the mind. Every completed task reinforces self-belief and keeps the larger goal in focus. Intensity without consistency is like sprinting randomly. It looks energetic but rarely reaches the destination. Steady progress ensures you arrive. Socially, people who are consistent inspire trust and influence. Their reliability draws opportunities, support, and collaboration. Consistent effort reduces anxiety. The mind knows you are moving forward, and uncertainty diminishes because small steps are measurable and tangible. Habits formed through consistency eventually feel effortless. Action becomes a natural part of identity rather than a forced chore. Consistency allows flexibility without derailing progress. You adjust, learn, and improve, knowing that daily effort accumulates toward the ultimate goal. Small, repeated actions create a feedback loop. Progress motivates further action, and each step strengthens discipline, character, and resilience. The magic of consistency is invisible at first, but over time it transforms dreams into reality, showing that greatness is rarely sudden. It is patient, persistent, and steady. Setbacks are not signs of failure. They are signals that you are moving, learning, and stretching beyond your comfort zone. Every obstacle you face is a lesson disguised as difficulty, a chance to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Human nature fears failure, but those who embrace setbacks understand that falling is part of rising. Mistakes illuminate the gaps in knowledge, strategy, or effort, giving you the insight needed to adjust and improve. When you encounter resistance, it is often proof that you are pushing boundaries and stepping towards something meaningful. Each setback tests patience and perseverance, teaching skills that success alone cannot provide. Socially, how you respond to setbacks defines your character. People respect those who rise after falling and keep moving forward. Setbacks refine priorities. They reveal which goals truly matter and which were distractions, sharpening your focus. Every failure provides feedback. It's not a verdict on your worth, but a map showing where to redirect energy and effort. Human psychology grows stronger with challenges. Facing setbacks repeatedly builds resilience, confidence, and mental toughness. Setbacks encourage creativity. When one path is blocked, you are forced to innovate, explore new strategies, and think differently. Emotional growth comes through overcoming setbacks. Each experience teaches patience, humility, and the value of persistence. Viewing obstacles as temporary rather than permanent shifts perspective. You begin to see challenges as stepping stones instead of stumbling blocks. Setbacks foster gratitude for progress. Small victories after struggle feel sweeter, motivating continued effort. The fear of failure diminishes when you accept setbacks as part of the process. Courage grows from action despite uncertainty. Every successful person has a history of setbacks. Their difference lies not in avoiding failure, but in using it as fuel to move forward. Setbacks build self-awareness. You learn your strengths, weaknesses, triggers, and the strategies that work best for you. Persistence in the face of setbacks rewires the brain. The more you endure and adapt, the more automatic resilience becomes. Setbacks are reminders that growth is not linear. Progress curves, dips, and plateaus exist, but consistent effort eventually carries you forward. Accountability and reflection are the compasses that guide your journey from intention to achievement. When you hold yourself accountable, you stop making excuses and start taking responsibility for your actions and decisions. Reflection allows you to pause, review, and understand what is working and what is not, turning experience into wisdom. Humans are naturally social creatures. Accountability works best when shared. Telling someone your goals increases commitment because your actions affect more than just yourself. Regular reflection creates awareness. You notice patterns, strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities for improvement that were invisible in the rush of daily activity. Accountability turns abstract goals into measurable progress. You track actions, celebrate small wins, and correct missteps before they derail momentum. Reflection strengthens decision-making. When you evaluate past choices honestly, future choices become smarter, faster, and more aligned with your goals. Socially, accountability builds trust and credibility. People gravitate toward those who follow through, creating networks of support and collaboration. Writing down reflections or discussing them with a mentor or peer transforms experience into learning. You are no longer repeating mistakes unknowingly. Accountability makes procrastination harder. When someone else is aware of your commitments, the natural human desire to appear responsible encourages follow through. Reflection fosters humility. You see not only your successes but also your gaps, and this honest awareness is the foundation for growth. Combining accountability with reflection accelerates progress. Each insight gained is immediately actionable, allowing continuous adaptation and improvement. Humans remember lessons better when they are processed consciously. Reflection ensures that experience becomes internalized wisdom, not just memory. Accountability encourages discipline, knowing that your progress will be evaluated by yourself or others, keeps you consistent even when motivation wanes. Reflection nurtures clarity. You see which actions are aligned with your goals and which are distractions, making prioritization easier and more effective. Emotional resilience grows through accountability. Owning mistakes and successes strengthens confidence and reduces fear of judgment. Regularly reflecting on setbacks and progress prevents stagnation. You adjust strategies before frustration or fatigue sets in, keeping your journey steady. Accountability and reflection together create a feedback loop. Action leads to observation, which leads to improvement, which fuels further action. When you integrate both into your life, you become proactive rather than reactive, shaping your path intentionally instead of drifting passively.